Hi, good evening to all present here. My name is Havish from Kalyana Sundaram. I'm the presenter of this PowerPoint presentation on the topic of cloud computing and AWS global infrastructure. Okay, before we begin the presentation, I want to tell one thing. This presentation is basically full of theoretical and a little bit of practical inside it. Okay. Uh, yeah, what is cloud computing? Before we starting this cloud computing, we want to explore or we want to dive into the process of physical computation or traditional computation. Yeah. Then what is meant by a physical computation? Okay. Traditional or a physical computing, it is like a client server model that involves the client want to require or receive the services from the server, which is a physical machine hosting these resources. Okay. Let me deeply dive into this. So this is a virtual representation of traditional computing. Okay. So for example, there is a supermarket, which can be a supermarket, can be some other stores like Ekascloud, something. Okay. They're going to enhance their shop in online, not as a physical. They're going to enhance their shop in online. Okay. They request the services to an organization. We know that in organization there are several teams, like development team will be there, testing team will be there. In other hand, the UI UX team, UI UX members will be there. Okay. So what they are going to do? The development team is going to develop an application for the supermarket clients. Okay. For the supermarket. A supermarket is a client of the organization, so they are going to develop an application and they are going to give it the hand of testing team. So now the testing team will test these applications or software. Okay. Okay. How they are going to test? They are going to host these applications or host these services in their hosting machine. It is called data center. Yeah, what is data center? The data center is consists of lot of server machine. Server, what is meant by server then? So a server is a powerful computing machine which is going to run applications, which is going to run services. Okay, then how the user will access these applications? Like users, who is the users? The users are the customers of the supermarket. Okay, they are going to use these applications or services through the internet. Through the internet, they are going to um, use the services from the data center of that organization. Okay, so this is the traditional computing. Okay, all are good. Then what is the problem? Yeah, there are some problems. There are some limitations. Okay. What are the limitations? Yeah, here is the challenges on physical computing infrastructure. So high initial investment is there. Investment in infrastructure as well as investment in servers is going to be high. Infrastructure, it means, for example, if that organization have their own land, then they want to or they need a large amount of land to set up their data centers. Okay. If they are going to rent a space, then they want to rent a large amount of space to set their data centers. Okay. Then investment in hardware software, like, okay, if the data center is there, what I told, the server machine is going to be there. Definitely it's not going to be a single server machine because the company, the organization, they are having a lot of clients. They're going to run the lot of applications, lot of services on their data centers, on those server machines. So they need a lot of data centers. So definitely the investment on server is going to be high. Scalability issues, I already told, it is not a simple one. It is going to be complex and costly because even though they require the purchases on additional hardware like switches, routers. So a lot of computers is want to be there something. Okay. So cabling cost will be high, and the cooling systems they used for that they want to use the cooling system for those data centers because it will be it produces a lot amount of heat, so they are going to use the cooling system. uh, okay, then in the sense of like I can also tell if the hardware is getting outdated, then they want to update those hardwares. Even though a software, the version is going to new, then they want to use the new software. So for those they want to, it is the maintain, okay, it is the maintenance also be high. And all those, the electricity is bill going to be there, so it is also giving a high cost to their organization. Okay, okay, for this, what they bring up next, what they bring the next one. Okay, here they bring the virtualization technology. Okay, what is meant by virtualization? According to me, I can say we can feel it but we can't touch it. Okay, so virtualization is a technology like that, so that allows you to create a virtual representations on those hardware resources. Like I can say the servers, right? Server, storage devices, network, anything operating system, these all are going to be a virtual representation. So it's going to be enable a multiple VMs to the one physical server machine, one physical machine. Okay. So it's going to improve our performance, it's going to cut cost, make a task, like server migration, and going to be more greater flexibility and energy management easier. So point out this energy management easier. I'm going to tell this about a bit later. Okay. So there are types of virtualization. I saw so in previous slide I talked about virtualization. Okay, then what is the types of virtualization? There are a lot of virtualization like application virtualization, network, desktop, storage, server, and data virtualization. But in this topic, I'm particularly going to talk about server virtualization. Okay, yeah, because it will be a more easy to understand the virtualization method, I can say. Okay, so for example, there is a company called Kabzis Group of India. So they are the startup company. They are the startup company. So they don't have enough investment to do data center. I mean to build a data center, but they have a powerful physical server machine. Okay, so this company can use a server virtualization software like VMware, vSphere, Microsoft Hyper-V, or KVM, which is a kernel-based system which is used in Google or Red Hat. Okay, on this. In where they are going to use this VM, they are going to use this VM on the one server. Okay, on that one server machine. Okay, and what is mean by this vSphere, VMware, Microsoft? So these all are the software that used to create a VM. Okay, so in common terminology, we will say as a hypervisor. Okay, so here each VM here is going to act as a separate server. So they're going to run their operating systems. For example, I already said like a company might run their web server in one VM, and in database server on another VM, a file server on third VM. So in the same physical machine, so definitely going to reduce the cost and make it too easier to manage. Okay, and they are going to back up the servers also. So recovery is very quick if one VM fails. Definitely, if one VM fails, we can recover the data from other VMs. Yeah. So here the diagrammatic representation, like there is a server, one server. It is a company of it is a whole setup of Cubs. Okay, sorry, Cubs is Group India. So they're using the one server machine with the users of, I told, right, hypervisor software. They are going to create a multiple VMs. They are going to run the separate OS, separate applications. So here same thing, the user going to use the internet to access these applications. Okay, okay, then what is the problem? Definitely there is a disadvantage and advantage in this virtualization method also. Yeah, there will be limitations. So it is a performance overhead, like those security risk and something, a single point failure, something. Yeah, performance overhead. I already told, like multiple VMs in a single machine, it will lead to the contention to resources, like potentially impact the performance if not managed properly. Yeah, Definitely there will be a complexity because we need a specialized knowledge to use those VM tools. So definitely there will be a complex in management. And to manage it, definitely there will be a complex in not a simple way. So thirdly, we want to talk about the security risk. Yeah, definitely these virtualization have the additional layers that can be vulnerable if not secured properly because it potentially going to be exposing the system to attacks. And even when in licensing and compliance issue, I can say that virtualization need, I mean, because some software license may not permit the virtualization. So, or may they require the additional license and leading to the compliance challenges also, I can say. Okay, then what is the limitation of single point of failure? Because I said that I'm going to run this VM on a single machine. If the single machine get any failure or any problem, it lead to any problem, then the whole VM is going to be affected. So these are the limitations, but there is some advantages also when we compare to the physical computation because we are having the less infrastructure. Yeah, definitely we are going to use the two something server machines. So definitely the land area which we are going to be cover is small and less investment. Only two server machine. The electricity bill is going to be less. Um, and the cooling system is going to be somewhat low in the sense of availability of cooling system. Saying and cabling cost is going to be low because we are going to use two server machines. Yeah, and less in maintenance also. Okay, less in maintenance. Okay, then why people comes to the cloud computing? Okay, to overcome this investment risk, they need the cloud. Okay, so because the entire system is going to be remote computing resources. Okay, so what is the cloud computing? Okay, here the cloud computing services. Okay, is the delivery of services like server storage, database, network, software, analytics, and intelligence over the internet to offer a faster innovation. They are going to be innovative. They are going to be faster than this physical and virtualization, and they are going to flexible the resources for their users, and the scale is also be economically going to be cost less. Okay, so instead of owning a physical hardware or running our own virtual machine, we are going to rent your resources from cloud providers. Okay, cloud providers like AWS, Microsoft, Azure, Google Cloud, Alibaba, Cloud4. There are a lot of cloud, etc., etc. There are a lot of cloud providers nowadays. Okay, so we are going to pay only for what we are going to use. Okay, here the cloud computing representation is there. So, like already I said, the supermarket is there. They are going to recover the services or recover the application for the organization, but to the organization. But here now the organization didn't have any data center. They didn't have a single server machine, but they are going to use the internet. They are going to take the resources from cloud providers, and from those, the people, the users of, I mean, the customers of the supermarket, they are going to use the services. So these are the things. Okay. So yeah, before I talk about this AWS, I told a lot of cloud services, cloud providers are there, like Amazon Web Service. Okay, I'm going to talk about particularly AWS in this topic now. So what is meant by AWS? AWS stands for Amazon Web Service. So what they are telling, it is the world's largest and popular provider of cloud computing services because they launched their AWS in 2006 itself. So who? The Amazon launched their cloud service on 2006, but it's get popularized in 2016. From 2016 to 2018. So those years they get more popularized. Okay, you say that AWS is a cloud service. Okay, then what is mean? I mean, what we are going to talk about in this AWS? Okay, we already know that in physical computing we need a data center. In virtualization, at least we need a server machine. Again, not a huge data center, but we need a server machine. But here in AWS also, we know, we have this infrastructure, we have this data center. Okay, that's why we have the topic of AWS global infrastructure. Okay, so this is the image which is presenting in this presentation, is an image is showing in this presentation. These all are the regions which are using the AWS services. So, okay, what is meant by that green dots? The green dot implicates that they are using the AWS services, but red dot implicates that they are in future and upcoming days they are going to use this AWS. So these are the regions, and some of they are in the name of the country also. Like for example, see in India, it's Mumbai. Uh, they have a data. They have a data centers in Mumbai, Hyderabad, Kolkata, something. Okay, okay. Then what is meant by this region? And I want to say that the green dots implicates the it is the availability zones, and the red dot is not available in those countries, in those regions, but upcoming in future they are coming. Okay, but green dot implicates the availability zones. Okay, so what is meant by these regions and availability zones? Yes, here the region is a physical location around the globe where Amazon have their data centers. Actually, this is a physical location. Okay, they are the physical locations that Amazon having their data centers. Okay, so in reality, they're having a 36 regions and 114 availability zones are there. So every regions here they're having their own region code. For example, I said about this Mumbai, so AP South 1 is a region code. Okay. Then what is meant by availability zone? A group of data center within a region is known as availability zone. So, uh, for example, okay, AWS is a cloud service. In the cloud service, the Mumbai is a region. Okay, in this region, we are having a multiple data centers. That's why I told that. I told that single region have multiple availability zone. So we are having multiple data centers. Okay, so multiple data centers grouped together is called availability zones. So in single region, they have multiple availability zones in the sense of grouped data centers here, another group of data centers here. So the minimum distance between those availability zone is 10 to 100 kilometers. And availability zone also have their own code. For example, AP South 1A, AP South 1B. So these are things, and these regions and availability zones are connected with dedicated cables, like the cables like fiber optical cables, uh, for connecting the region to region. They are using the submarine cables. Yeah. Okay. Let's do some practical. I said right, practical. Okay. Yeah. Open the browser and search it with, okay, AWS console. Okay, AWS console. Okay, AWS console is game. Okay, before we jump into practical, I want to tell about there is a website like I told, right, AWS Global Infrastructure. Search it in Google, AWS Global Infrastructure. So from this website, I took those points. I told that as per the data, there are 36 regions, 104 available zones. Okay, bro, then how we can find availability zones inside the region? Yeah, we can find. See, for example, I'm going to Mumbai. So Mumbai is showing availability zones are 3 availability zones. So here they're having 3 availability zones in Hyderabad also. Okay. So availability zones I already told, like grouping of data centers is called availability zone. Yeah. Okay. Let's dive into this. So Amazon, okay, Amazon Web Services, AWS. So you can also search it as aws.amazon.com. Otherwise, you can search it with the AWS console. Okay. So it will directly take to this page. You want to sign in to the console. Okay. Okay, I will tell. Before signing to the console, you want to create a new account. If there is no account in AWS, you want to create a new account. because but it is a simple process. We can take it with it will ask for your email ID. You want to create your username, password, then you want to give fill your address, your phone numbers. That's all. Then they will take to the payment page. Yeah, wait, taking to pay. Okay, then they are going to pay take a payment of high. No, they are going to bill for $1, and within few minutes they also credit that $1 into our account also. Okay, so don't worry about this. um, Practically you can use it, it's not a problem. Yeah, okay, I already have an account, so I'm going to sign in with router username. Okay, so I'm going to type my email. Yeah, it's kind of, yeah. Okay, password. Okay, yeah, it takes us to the AWS services. So this is the cloud service. Okay, yeah, I already have it in Asia Pacific region. Okay, so this is the region. There are a lot of regions there, and they defaultly they enable those regions like North Virginia in USA, California in USA, so Oregon in USA. So in Asia Pacific region they have this Mumbai, so a lot of there. So Tokyo, Sydney, Singapore. In Central Canada is there. In European region they are using. I mean London is there. So these all are the regions, okay, even though it's a continent, but these all are the European region, Canada, like Central region, and Asia Pacific region is there, and United States. Okay. So already I selected the region Mumbai. Okay. I said, but even though in region also, there are some regions I don't know, they defaultly disabled that regions, but we can use the manage regions, click the manage regions, and we can see that these are the disabled one. So see the Asia Pacific, the Hyderabad region is get disabled, but we can get we can when we click enable, then it's fine. We can also enable this region also. Okay, I told you about the availability zones. Okay, yeah, you can ask me what is meant by this availability zone. How can we find the availability zone names? Okay, so before that I want to say that each region have their own code. I said right already, like earlier I said about this AP South one. This is the region code, so each have the unique code. So for managing I mean, when we click about the manage local zones, then it's going to come to this page. Okay, I want to know about the Mumbai. So I want to know about the availability zones of Mumbai. Okay, I'm just clicking the availability zone. I'm having the name of AP South 1A, AP South 1B, AP South 1C. So they are having the particular name for that. Okay, so these all are the things. So these all are the things which was used in this AWS services. Okay, yeah, and I also there are several plans out there. So, but it is a free tier plan which we are going to use is a free tier plan. So there is no technical support in this process. Uh, but there are some supports will be there in other plans. Okay, yeah. Uh, and okay, I will sign out from this process. And even though there are, I attached the additional link to this. So this is the additional resources like AWS global infrastructures, as well as I talked about this AWS data centers also. Yeah. So AWS data centers, when we are going to search about the AWS data into the Google, then we are going to talk about this. I'm sorry, I'm going to the okay. So AWS data center here, the AWS data center in the sense of when I'm going to search AWS. Sorry, I'm going to talk about this AWS data center here. Okay, so data centers. So we want it's just additional information I'm going to give. So like the data centers here, they are saying about the like AWS designs and operates or the world-class secure data so centers globally. So they focus on to be security, available, and performance. So here the AWS data centers having the strong physical security cards. like guards, a camera, and biometric references there. Uh, so these all are the things, and the energy efficiency also. When we are talking about the energy efficiency, so they are given the topic of environmental layer. They are providing their own windmill for producing the electricity. Like we want to explore this page, I explore this page. So they told that they're providing the own windmill for the own electricity. I mean, for providing the electricity for their own data centers. So these are the things I just attached with this PowerPoint presentation. Yeah, and thank you so much. Thank you.